Kevin.
How's it going, Eric?
That's going, man. Look, we got matching shirts.
That's
cool.
Look at that, man. Look at that.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. All right. It seems like you're in a truck.
Yeah, I'm in the semi 18 footer.
I love all the truckers be calling from inside trucks, man.
Hold on, I had to turn it down a little bit.
That's all right. Yeah.
But the question I had was about like transportation
Sure.
in the government space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that all the time about transportation, right? In the space. And so again, we did make the video that I made with Chris. We talked about two different examples, right? So there's some people, because transportation is such a big industry, right? Like people say transportation is like when people say construction. Well, construction is like, okay, tenant improvement, design builds, fit outs, vertical, horizontal, underground, demolition, like so when people say transportation, I hear various different things. So we had a student of ours that he registered for like a lane with Crowley because, that's what he could support. And then we've had students that won contracts with FEMA because, they were able to essentially broker trucks and get groups of them collectively to pursue the opportunities. But the FEMA thing was really fast. And like you had to like essentially mobilize, let's say 60 trucks to be at a certain place at a certain time to go, a certain distance. So we've had people do contracts like that. I've have someone that does logistics for moving stuff basically on site between like let's say a research laboratory and where the warehouses are, right? That's also transportation.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say, like, I mean, there's so much, right? There's so many different ways that a person could go. I guess we need to be more specific.
So dude, what do you think, GSA or USDOT?
So, GSA is a huge agency. They buy a lot of things. And so GSA, I always say, I start with my market research. And so for me, when people say GSA, that's because GSA is just like this big name, like DOD that everybody knows. Not necessarily that GSA is issuing the contracts that you want or need.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for the most part, and I literally had a consultation with a transportation young lady today. I literally did. She's one of my students, and she said, Eric, she wanted to go to a conference, and she goes, well, what do you recommend? And I said, well, is there anybody at that conference that when you look up who's buying the type of transportation that you want to deliver, is there any of those names going to be at the conference?
Okay.
Right. And so I'll give you an example real quick. Hold on. I'll give you a really easy example. Do you know your NAICS code?
Oh man, I can't think of it. I'll my head.
All right.
But I know it's like
everybody. I'll tell you now. You better listen. If your NAICS code, you have to be able to spit that thing out.
Remember, right?
Like you can't. If you're sitting down with somebody, and again, this is a test run. But if you're sitting down with someone, and we're like, "What's your NAICS code?" so I can help you, and you don't know the code.
It's like yeah.
All right. So someone gave me this code, 484. All right. So let me hold on.
I'm gonna tell you something too about one of those students.
Okay.
But
all right, hold on. Let's get through this real quick.
Cool.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, here we go. All right, so Samo, you said 484. All right. All right, so 484230. All right, I put in that code. All right, so for example, so here's that code. And you can see here who's buying it: Army, Air Force, U.S. Transcom, DLA, DEA, Navy. But so that's at the high levels. When you get down to the granular level, and let me make this bigger for folks. Within the Army, this is the office 0408 AQHQ contract. So even within so this is Forest Services, but the contract office is Regional Office R1, right? And so the same thing. You could go through here like this one. This is the Army. This is WCQK. This is the name of the actual office. So you have to find out this office, who they are, and then those are the people that you want to target.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean that's like, and again, that's based on the information that this person put on the screen.
Okay.
So I mean that was like a 2-minute search.
Right.
You know, so you don't have to guess if it's GSA.
Okay.
You don't have to like guess if it's FEMA, right? You don't have to guess. So because again, I get it. Like people like to lump transportation in one big category, but the government is really very specific about how they do things. So you got to know, and I've given some examples back in the past, like exactly what is it that you want to do. What I find the biggest thing, Kevin, to be honest with you, for most people, is they don't know what they want to do.
Right.
That's actually a bigger issue.
So let me say this.
Go ahead.
Today I talked with Ashley Spur.
Oh, did you talk to Ashley? Okay.
Yeah, I talked with her today, and me and her was having the same conversation. Yeah. And she kind of was like, because I told her we had to do the transportation, but I had another question, and I said, well, what do you think is another good
area? Good.
Yeah. And she was like, no. What you're good at, stick to it. So.
And that's what happens with most people. I'll be honest with you. Most of us are trying to like chase different things, right? And so in the government space, if you do that, you really get it's to your detriment.
Yeah.
There's no advantage of taking like a slingshot approach or throwing out a big spider web. It's definitely to your detriment. It's not in your favor.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. So that's it. Like that was, I mean, that's like, I mean, and really for most people out here, and again, I like to say this all the time, this is not rocket science. It really is coming down to the fundamentals and the basics, understanding who your customers are, understanding what they buy, and they really do want to help us. I'm telling you, they want to help people that are capable and qualified. And so that's been my experiences, and I continue to spread that message.
Great. Hey, man, I appreciate you for everything that you do. The last live I was on, I met Jerome.
Okay.
He's one of your students, and me and him has been talking back and forth.
That's what it takes, right? So that's why I'm telling everybody, like, you see, by the way, everybody listening to this, he's already engaged with Ashley from Elevair. He's engaged with one of our students. So if you come on these things, don't just sit here and like sit in the background. Jump in, engage with people. So there are people out here looking for partnerships. I just got off the phone with one of my partners, and we're putting together deals with a large business. And so this is a small guy, and he's got 10 million bonds, and I'm bringing a large business to the table with 100 million bonding. And so we're talking about, bidding a $20, $30 million project next week. So the more you start engaging with people, you're doing the right things. You're doing the right things. The only thing
I'm from Florida too, man.
Huh?
I'm from Florida too, man.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Nice. Where in Florida?
City called Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Fort Pierce. Hey, listen. I used to live in Clewiston.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So yeah. But no, yeah. Fort Pierce got hit with the hurricane.
Yeah, we got hit real bad.
Yeah, you got hit with the hurricane. So yeah, man.
But man, I'm gonna let you finish and
Thank
get back on.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for everything.
Hey,
man. Hopefully to meet you one day.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. We're gonna have, like I said, stay tuned. In October, we should have our first conference. So look out for that.
Great.
All right.
All right, man. Have a good one, man.
Be good. Thanks.
All right.